Today is the 22nd day of February, Saturday, Sabbath in Abaco. The wind is blowing 30 to 40 knots, and it's going to be a cool Sabbath night. And I've been watching these equipment right on the front street of Marshall, but you can't miss them. And this just shows you the house and the have not. And everybody say, Kai, don't get racist, calling that white and black thing. It is what it is. I don't make no excuses. I call it what I see. If you see it something else, you did do your video. This is Kai's videos, and this is what I perceived. For 2 months, I watched a black brother, that went and got his equipment before the hurricane and after the hurricane because he knows of the hurricane damage and the need for this equipment. So he pocketed up and got the best equipment, some new equipment. And for some reason, I don't know, I keep calling these two Canadians that my good friend Desmond Bannister is responsible for these. Richard Bruno and that McCullen down there at the Bahamas Power and Light. And you know what you call a no good, weightless country? When you see that a minister like Desmond Bannister could come in his first year and in charge, and he has to bring expatriates into this country. After 40-some years of independence, we have to bring an expatriate to run Bahama Power and Light, and we have to bring an expatriate to run the Ministry of Works, because it seems like the black man has a problem with the black man in charge, although the black man voted Desmond Bannister as minister, responsible. And they don't recognize the word member of parliament, It's just a service. You're doing service to your people. You try to uplift your people. How come that has not happened in this country for a long time? All the cleanup in Marsh Harbor, and I noted that there is not one black contractor to clean the streets of Marsh Harbor. We as Negroes could run the country, but we as Negroes can't give a black man a contract to clean up Marsh Harbor. Although this brother has a business in Marsh Harbor, he lives in I almost say South Africa, because it seems like it's South Africa. He lives in the Southern District, and he also supported the F&M. That's something, eh? You vote F&M, you live in Marsh Harbor, you have your businesses in Marsh Harbor, but because you're black, under Richard Bruno, Desmond Bannister brought him here. Richard Bruno handpicked who he wants to clean up Marsh Harbor. And this is why I'm going to show you why the cleanup is so slow. You imagine Pelican Shores, that has the richest, it's like the western area of Nassau, the richest dedicated F&Ms in the Bahamas is in Pelican Shores. And they were so happy that this government came into power. But boy, I know they're so ashamed. And 2 F&M generals lives on Pelican Shores, and if they were alive today, they would just shake their head at Minnis, James, and Darren. And also Desmond Bannister, because Pelican Shores had their trash, just like the government ordered them to do. In the first month of hurricane, all the trash was on the streets of Pelican Shores. And by God, 6 months going into 7 months, it is still there. Now we're going to have the handover from Ministry of Works to the disaster committee, which in itself is already a disaster. Nothing has happened. They can't even find another person to serve on the board since they took one off. And back to this vexing situation. I'm going to show you right here. This young man, F&M. What F&M? I know him. College Bulldozer Services. You imagine a young man in his 30s could get all these equipment in hopes that the government would give him a contract. But look at it. You got everything you need right here. You got paved road, you got a big truck here. I'm just gonna come down the line here. And it's been there for months. They wouldn't give him a job. I know why. He's after them, baby. See here? I want you to see this right here. Got everything you need. Brand new truck, good tires, Big Mac. This is what you need on Pelican Shores. That costs a lot of money right there. And you invested that kind of money and it's just sitting there. It has just what you need to pick up and carry everything. You imagine. This machine is a very valuable machine because it got the claw on the front there. But College Bulldozering Service had these stuff here for months, invested highly, and we have the traffic light here. I want y'all to know where we are. We're on the traffic light right here in Marsh Harbor. I try to give this justice, but the wind is blowing so hard, you hardly can see. We're right here at the traffic light. It's where Frederick's agency used to be. In the background there, you got Commonwealth Bank, and this is where the traffic light used to be right here. And they got all this equipment right here. This thing right here, anybody that got one of these, this is what you need. You could fit. I'm just going to show you what's here. You could fit in the claw. I'm 6'1", and that's so much trash this machine could carry one time. And Richard Bruno sees it every day. Maybe I could do some advertisement for Lawrence. College Bulldozing Service, 242-458-7808. And you got the email address right there. Maybe somebody else could give this young man some work because this F&M government, whom he support, ain't about to give him no work. Look at this thing right here. The claw on this is ready to work, but no. To live in Marsh Harbor, you gotta be a special person to live in Marsh Harbor. I only call what I see. And I think it's prejudice, it's racist that Richard Bruno cannot give this black brother that went out on the limb and bought these equipment. 6 months in, he can't get a contract from this government. The brother ain't gonna beg. He's definitely not a beggar, but he's a businessman, and he's an Aberconian, and he supported the F&M government. And all the work that is needed to do in Marsh Harbor, I can say the only reason he don't have and can't get a job under Richard Bruno because he's a black brother that supported a black, white F&M government. It can't be right, man. It can't be right. That's my say. Sometimes you don't want to say something, but then you gotta talk. I see one fella got one little barcode there. Can't do half of the work that machine could do. But sometimes it gets so vexing you really gotta hold back, you know. He got but 20 Haitians behind him, putting things inside the little barcode, all over the place. And as big as Marsh Harbor is, we can't get no work. We got other people that has the equipment that can help Pelican Shore clean in 1 week. But Richard Bruno ain't getting no black fellas nothing. I keep telling Desmond Barnes, I try to send a message to him. This guy's a racist. Even during the hurricane, Richard Bruno wouldn't allow no black businessman to pick up garbage. We cannot pick up garbage. And guess what Richard Bruno is from? He's a Canadian here on a work permit. And he's telling people like Kai and the rest of them, Lawrence, all us, that we can't, the trash is too good, the money is too good for us to pick up trash in Mashaba. The equipment is here, like I showed you, for months. But under Richard Bruno, Desmond Bannister, Richard Bruno, Desmond Bannister, they are the slow up and the cause of the debris still in the streets of Mashaba. Sometimes you gotta almost preach it in them, you know. We live it. I just took a guy from Monowar that moved to the America right before the hurricane, and he asked me, so how long you think the cleanup gonna take? I say, it ain't gonna stop until we get the cleanup of the F&M. We gotta clean them out of power, then we can then put a time limit to it. Because it seems like the F&M government is purposely, use this word, the F&M government is purposely allowing the stuff to stay here. They look like they're trying to discourage Abaconians to move elsewhere. This government, this F&M government, under the leadership of Desmond Bannister and Hubert Minnis, don't give a hell. All they care about the mud, the peace, and the Haitian community. You imagine Desmond on the, Desmond's my friend, I can call his name anyhow. Desmond on the TV and radio bragging about the cleanup. Desmond, you ain't got no shame, eh? What cleanup? Only thing y'all clean up is the mud. Every Haitian community, y'all raking, scraping them. Mashaba proper, the capital, y'all should be ashamed of yourself to talk about y'all as a government. And the brother got the equipment. That's why I started at the traffic light. Right here. Right here on the traffic light. Right here in Mashaba. Right here by Commonwealth Bank. The equipment right here. And he can't get a job because Richard Bruno don't think he's white enough. And Richard Bruno is a Canadian that's seeing over our affairs, and we can't get involved. The money that is made by college bulldozering will be spent in Abaco. Ain't going to Canada with Richard Bruno's salary now. It's one of these Kai K videos. Let me cut it right off there because Kai K's. It's a bunch of garbage happening in Marshall. A bunch of garbage government. It's a garbage government.